People talk about the meaning of life, talk about the good times, talk about the good life, say it's all in front of you, but in front of you, there's also gonna be some rough days, gonna be some bad days, some days when the sky is gray, but you know what they say. Don't let them steal your sunshine. Don't let them take your sunlight. If you let.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second episode of From Indy to Immortal podcast. I'm your host, the Media Maverick Mike Weldon. Please forgive us. My co-host, Just Jake, could not join us for this episode, but we are joined by our second guest of the show, the BackWoods Brawler Ray. Ray, welcome to the show.
Well, nice. Thank you for having me, man.
Oh, of course, thank you for taking the time to sit down with me. I apologize, Jay cannot be here with us today.
It's all good, brother. Let's get it going, man.
So, what made you decide to step into the ring and chase this dream, chase professional wrestling?
Oh man, you you starting hard. Okay. Um, man, look, I guess it goes back to my dad, man. Of course, he had many names over the years. He left the business as the Honey Badger, Mark Donovan. Um,
Yep.
he his first start as Bongo Cool, which at that time was like a beach goer character.
Hmm.
From there, he transitioned to a mask for a little bit as Bone Crusher. And then from there, he started the Backwood Brawler gimmick. And that skyrocketed, man, for 20 plus years. Of course, him and his partner at that time, they had iterations of it, changing to the Scuffling Hillbillies, and then back to the Brawlers. And later on, when his partner left the business, he transitioned to his own deal. Went as the old schooler Mark Donovan, and then
Yep.
finally his last gimmick as the Honey Badger. 32 years, 32-time tag team champion. One of those being with me, um, in 2014, I'd say. Yeah, that's what sparked it, man. Just watching wrestling on TV and ultimately just going to these shows, man.
So, how was it getting to win a tag team title with your father before he left the business?
Um, Man, that was special to me. Growing up, getting in the business, seeing my dad in it and everything, that was one of my goals, man, was to um get in the business before he got out. Um,
Hmm.
you know, it I had dreams of, tagging with my dad, standing across the ring from my dad. I actually got to do both of those. I got to tag with him for a little bit. We won the tag titles. That show that we won the tag titles for ultimately shut down. When they shut down, we were the tag team champions.
Yeah.
When he retired, before he retired, we got to work each other. That was fun, man. Ultimately, he did retire in 2015. He came back here and there for a few benefits and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, the last benefit he actually did, me, him, and my younger brother, actually got to be in the ring together and actually tag together. My younger
That was
brother never.
special.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. My younger brother unfortunately never got to be across the ring from him.
Yeah.
Or he retired and everything, but he did get to be in the ring with him, so that was a special moment. That was probably about 6 months before he found out he had cancer. You know,
Sorry. Cancer is something I cancer is something I hold dear to my heart because I've had several members of my family have cancer, and it's a terrible disease.
Absolutely. And he actually had a very rare form of cancer. He had both small and non-small uh small cancer. Um he actually had
That's
they said there was only been one or two other cases in the US of his type of cancer.
oh wow, that's very rare.
Yeah. So
So
um go ahead.
when I know everyone has their style when they're in the ring, and I've heard it from several people. Like depending on who you're with in the ring, some people like to call it in the ring. Some people like to know what they're doing before they get in the ring. What do you, how what is your style? Do you call it when you're in the ring, or do you like go? Do you already know what you're gonna do before the bell ever rings?
Uh Man, that's a tough one. I I like to say that I'm trained old school. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I have very old school trainers. Shout out to Shane Morton for training me and showing me what I know. Um, but I like to fill out the crowd, man. I like to give the people their money's worth, give them what they want. If
Yeah.
the crowd's not into it, that makes our job a lot harder. So
Mm-hmm.
I fill it out there, man.
Okay, I can respect that. I can respect that 100%. So you were talking about the crowd. I, I'm sure you have like, what is the difference between working a place that has a big crowd and working a place that has a smaller crowd? How much of the crowd goes into making those venues?
Oh man, the crowd is everything. Without the people, we don't have a show. That's what we're
Yeah.
there for. There for them. They pay their money to see us, and if whether there's 10 people in the crowd or 1,000 people in the crowd, it's our job to go out there and put on a show. It's
Hmm.
our job to entertain them. The ones that pay to see us. Again, fans are everything. They're what makes the show the show.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite match that you like doing, like just a regular wrestling match, or do you like prefer like where you could brawl and get out of the ring and just get the crowd involved in the matches?
Um, I'd say I like a little bit of all of it, man. I don't really necessarily have a favorite type. If I had to say a favorite type, it would be a street fight. No, just because again, crowd interaction stuff like that. They have certain tastes that they want to see, and if we're able to give it to them, let's give it to them. Um, is overall, man. Again, I'm just there to do a job. Whatever's asked of me is what gets done.
So how is it coming from like your dad being a professional wrestler and your younger brother like having three generations of your family involved in the business?
Um, it's special, man, and my dad did it. Like I said, 32 years. I'm December of this year will actually be 13 years for me. Um, I got my brother involved in it back in 2000 and I believe 22. Um, so it was special. Just getting to show my brother some stuff and helping him move along, and he's come a long way. Shout out to him. He works hard, he listens, and he does what he's supposed to and how he's supposed to do it. And he's not he don't have a big head, I should say. Ego is not an
Yeah.
issue with him. That to me is the problem with a lot of this younger generation in the business. They they have egos, man, and your ego is only going to take you so far. um,
Oh, yeah. As they say, your ego is writing checks that your ass can't cash.
Absolutely. Um, but man, it goes beyond just me, my brother, and my dad. Man, I got family, all throughout the business. That have been in it, multiple years and stuff. It's a special moment, man.
I know. Do you see like if when you like I don't know if you have kids or not, but if you do you see them getting involved in the business later on down the road?
Uh, I got 4 kids, man. I got two girls, two boys, and my boys they absolutely love wrestling. My oldest is 11, and he gets in the ring after some shows, and he'll run the ropes and play with his friends that get in there, and I've seen him take a few bumps, and he's actually pretty good. I could see him doing it. Um, my other son, he's 3. He loves wrestling. It could change, I thought it would
Yeah.
change on my boy, but my boy's loved wrestling his whole life, so we'll see.
It'd be something to have you're like I said, your dad being in it, your brother, then your if your son's getting into it, that's like generational wrestling family.
Oh yeah.
Not to quote, I hate to quote him. I hate to quote this, but Cody Rhodes, he always in his entrance, he always says, and I'm just trying to get behind Cody. I guess it's become Cody.
You cut out on me there a little bit, man. I didn't catch what you said.
I was saying, like with you, your dad, your brother, and then maybe eventually your kids. It's like what Cody Rhodes says in his theme song: "Wrestling has more than one royal family."
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wrestling in general, man, is a big family. Just going to benefits, man, and seeing how wrestlers from different parts of the country come together and help out when they're in need. Wrestling is one big family. So to say that,
It is.
there's more than one royal family, it's absolutely true. Wrestling is one big royal family. And that's coming from personal experience. Like I said, with my dad and everything. We did a benefit for him when he got real sick down in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and we had a very big turnout. A lot of old school guys that was in the business with him. Um, they some of them wrestled, some of them didn't at the benefit, but they all came out and showed support. And from what I hear, that was the biggest benefit, crowd wise and um total overall amount wise, that has ever been in that building in Tullahoma. So it's a really big family, man.
It is. So, do you have a crazy road story or anything that you've experienced in your time in the business, like that you've been a part of that you've just gotten to hear?
Oh man. uh Man, I could tell you a bunch of stories, but we'd be here all day. Just sitting and listening. And I've listened to Chase Stevens talk. I've listened to Ricky Morton. um just a lot of old school cats that around the local area that have all kinds of stories, man. We'd be here all day with some stories, man. Just it's a lot of special moments that go on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't talk about. um
Yeah.
that most of us hold true and dear to our hearts, man. Like I said, one big family, man. But a lot of
Yeah.
crazy stories that I've heard.
Oh, yeah, I've gotten to speak to Chase. I've gotten to meet Ricky Morton. I've gotten to meet Ricky and Robert from the Rock and Roll Express, and like just to see them, and they still have this love for the business when they've been in it for so long. It's just amazing to see.
Oh yeah, big time. Ricky's one of a kind, dude. He's a very kind-hearted person, man, but he can hang with the best of them.
Yeah. So you talked about it for a brief moment before we got into another conversation. What was your training like? Like, how long did you train before you had your first match, or before, like, how long was it?
Oh boy. Let's see. It goes back 20 2012, 2013. Late 2012, I'd say. There was a show in Lewisburg, Tennessee that COVID kind of wiped out. Uh, they were running a wrestling academy, and unfortunately, I was fortunate enough to have family that actually owned that show. Um, Superstar
Yeah.
Mikey Dunn. It was his show, and me and a couple other wrestlers' kids. We were coming up to that age of, hey, we want to train, we want to wrestle. They opened up a wrestling school there. Um, for us and for other guys that have come through. Of course, Shane Morton was the head trainer there. Later on, after so long, Jeremiah Plunkett took over the training school there.
Yeah,
Um,
I know, Jeremy.
I would say roughly a year from the time I started training to my first match. I had my first match December 21st of 2013 in Columbia. Um,
Mhm.
I, I don't know exact times. I'd say roughly a year of training. And then of
Okay.
course, you know, they say you never stop learning. You always find something you don't know. Um, 13 years later, man, I'm still learning things. You never stop
Oh,
learning.
oh no, never. So, can you talk about some of the promotions that you've worked for, and just some of the locker rooms that you've gotten to share from those promotions, and if any of them have like like if any of the locker rooms kind of just coexist, like what's the word I'm looking for, like some of the guys from that locker room all show up to like these other shows that you also work.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially in the local area, Tennessee area. I've been with C1W over in McDonald, Tennessee, which closed their doors earlier last year.
Mm.
Um, I've been to, of course, ASW here in Lewisburg, SWF down in Tullahoma, RTW over in Columbia, which shut down roughly 2015. Money Mark Productions. Uh, they did Lewisburg and Shelbyville. Um, let's see. I've been to Mississippi. I've been to Alabama, Georgia, Michigan, Washington. Um, I- I've been I've been to different places, man. But as far as crossing paths, you do see that a lot in Tennessee. Especially like I said with the local area. Uh, Within a 50-mile, 75-mile radius, you're gonna see a lot of that. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, I've seen guys in different locker rooms at different times. And then some of us don't. We try to branch out and go to different shows.
yeah. I know like one of the promotions I know that you work for CHW in I think it's Springfield. If I
Yes,
might be wrong,
yes,
I've seen a
Mike.
lot of their guys show up other places.
Yes, absolutely. CHW. I did forget about them. It's another great show that they started over in Ashland City back last year, and I believe the Armory's having some work done, so they had to move to Springfield. Um,
Hmm.
Aaron Camaro and Mike Green, man, they're good people, really good people. I haven't been to that show in roughly almost 6 months now. I stay in constant contact, trying to get back, but unfortunately, things just haven't lined up right. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe soon though. I'll be back down there.
yeah. I know like there's guys I know that work there. Like there's a referee I know from there, Michael Ashton and Damian Wayne, and I see Damian all over the Tennessee scene. It's crazy how far he gets.
Oh yeah, he's another. We like to call him a journeyman, man. He's a journeyman for sure.
Oh yeah. So do you have any like when you're at shows, like how much merch do you have at your like merch tables? I know for some wrestlers, what they make from the promoter doesn't always cover their costs, and that's why I always see people have their merch tables and they try to get people to buy their merch. 'Cause that's their extra cash that they get to make before they leave the shows.
Um, Truthfully, and this is gonna sound bad. Truthfully, up until probably a year ago, I actually didn't have merch. We didn't sell merch.
Oh,
Um, I actually here recently started selling merch. I kind of got out of it a little bit. Just life happens, man, and but
yeah,
I'm working on. getting some different merch, some new merch coming in. But
Uh,
I sell a lot of things for kids, man. Pictures and suckers and little odd and end stuff, man, for kids.
yeah.
I've got some shirts that I'll have for sale soon. So just different things, man.
Okay, I'll definitely have to pick me up a shirt because I'll definitely will have to. I'll have to because your graphic that you have for you, it's a badass graphic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've got a few different graphics for myself. I've got a few for um my tag team, my group that we had. I've got a few. I'd say I've got about 6, 7 different graphics for that are going to be going on shirts soon, or that have already made it to shirts. So
Okay.
yeah, definitely some different designs, man.
So, how did you choose the Backwoods Brawler Ray? Like, why not use the last name too? Is it like, did you choose just to use Ray for a reason, or
Well, so that goes back again to my dad, man. He never used Donovan for the Backwood Brawler. He always just used Backwood Brawler Mark. Um,
okay,
so I dropped Donovan and just used Ray, man. A lot of what I'm doing lately goes really into my dad, man.
okay. So, who is someone you face that you just instantly click with in the ring, excluding your dad or like your like actual family that you've had in the business? Who is someone that you just love working in the ring that y'all just click together?
Oh man, that would have to be I'd give that to two different guys. And, I know you said not my family or anything like that, but I'd have to go with my brother on one. Outside of
Oh,
that, man, it would be somebody again who's like my brother. That's Austin Wright, who's
okay.
currently uh in CHW. He was their heavyweight champion. Unfortunately, Chris Green, did what he did, and now he's claiming to be champion. But that's neither here nor there. Um, Austin Wright, man, he's a hell of a talent, great talent.
I know I
We
plan on being at the next CHW show next month. I plan on being there.
absolutely, um, I stay in constant contact with Austin Wright every day, man. We talk about it, and he does have revenge on his mind when it comes to Chris Green. When or where, I don't know. He hasn't disclosed that with me. Um, but again, he's like a brother to me. He's always been there for me. Um, we've had we've had great matches together, and we've had not so great matches together. But as far as in the ring, clicking wise, chemistry wise, it would be him.
So, would you say the indie scene in Tennessee has like boomed in the last couple of years?
Oh yeah, for sure. Not and not just in Tennessee, man. Worldwide is really boomed. Different shows popping up here or there. Succeeding, thriving. Some have had their hiccups. But man,
Mm.
wrestling's all over the place now. You go 50-mile radius, man, you're gonna find 3 or 4 shows in that 50-mile radius, dude. Like wrestling's
It's
crazy right
so
now.
hard. It's so hard to choose just a one because you can only go to one. You can only be at one show at a time, and it's so hard to choose where to go. Because
Absolutely.
each card I see has like a stat card with like talent that I've never heard of that I want to go see. I'm like, why can't they all just like? There's so many just within, just like you said, within like 50 miles of me. There's like 5 shows,
Yeah, yeah,
and they
yeah,
all have awesome stat cards every time they run.
yeah. It's like I say, it's crazy, man. But hey, as long as there's somewhere to work, man, you know, we gonna do it.
So you were talking about Columbia a little while ago, and how does Columbia still have a show? Or because I know I've been on social media the last couple days, and I saw USWO supposed to be running a show there next month because there's not really a lot of wrestling that way.
Yes, sir. So man, going back to Columbia, dude. Like I said, that's where I got my start. Columbia, Tennessee was my first match. At the old Harvey's gym. Um, And like I said, they shut down in 2014. But man, uh, growing up as a kid, dude, we stayed in Columbia at the old Grand Slam building, which I think they turned into a church now down there.
Yeah.
But they had shows there every week. Um, Columbia used to be a hotbed
Hot.
for.
Yeah.
Um, they are doing USWO is bringing a show to Columbia, Tennessee on March 14th at the National Guard Armory. Um, Bell time 7 o'clock, and I'm actually on that show. Um, I'll actually be facing LT Falk.
LT.
Yes, sir. That's a big one for me. I know of LT. I've seen him around. I've never been on any shows with him actually.
Wow.
Um,
That's
Never been in the locker room with him. Never been on a show with him. We've never crossed paths, man. So when I got word that hey, you're facing LT Falk, I was hey, that's a big one for me. Um, so I look forward to that. But I don't know if you've seen my promo on him that I did a few days ago. But like I said, me and him are both second generation stars. He had his time in the spotlight. He's proven who he is and what he stands for, and now it's my time.
LT's just not gonna lay down. I know that he's not just gonna lay down.
I don't. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Especially like being the son of Tony Falk, and another cool guy. Like I've gotten to meet Tony and LT numerous times, and they've been nothing but they are just awesome people. And it goes back to what you're saying. Wrestling is just one big family.
Absolutely. Again, I've never heard a bad thing about either one of them. But you know, I stand the test of time, and like I said, it is what it is. I've got something to prove. So
Yeah. Well, I can't. Man, it's gonna be an awesome show, and I'm about to miss it. I'm about to eventually get a show where you're on it, that way I can catch you at a show.
I will actually be at a show tonight at 6 o'clock. Um, let's see. I will be in Lebanon, Tennessee on March the 7th.
Okay.
Uh, March 14th, again, like I said, I'll be in Columbia. And I'm sure in between those times, I'll be in Tullahoma, Tennessee on Friday nights.
I know. I promised. You probably know him, Big Business Mike.
Yep.
He worked for. I told him I'd be there March 14th at their show because he was talking about letting me interview some of the talent there, like just get some short clips to put on just to get some people out there.
Right. Yeah. Again, that they got a good show coming up on March 14th too. It's gonna be a big night for both of them, for them and for Columbia, Tennessee. I hope both shows do well. Um, but again, offer stands, man. You just let me know when you want to come to a show.
I most definitely will. So, how do you like the gear you wear, like the blue checkered shirt and like are they combat boots you wear, or are they just like wrestling boots?
No, those are regular wrestling boots.
Okay, they look like combat boots sometimes. They get my eyes all confused. Do you have your Where do you get your boots from? Like, I know everyone has their own places they go to for their gear. Do you have a certain place that you go to?
Oh man. So funny story. Um, Going back to the blue flannel. Again, that's a callback to my dad. Um,
Yeah.
they did the flannel shirts. Him and his partner. They did the red and blue flannel shirts, and ironically, my partner now, um,
Mhm.
was my dad's partner's son.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so we've kind of gotten together and brought the brawlers back. Um, he does the red flannel. His dad did the red flannel. My dad did the blue flannel. I did the blue flannel. So it's a callback to that. But as far as boots go, man, um, truthfully, up until about a month ago, um,
Hmm.
the only boots I've ever owned have been my dad's.
Oh wow.
My first pair of boots that I owned, for about the first 3 years of my career were,
Hmm.
well, actually, I take that back. About the first five of my career, um, were my dad's boots. and they were his first pair of boots that he bought 30 years ago. Um,
Okay.
I had those up until about 2017, and then I those actually they were out of commission. They were almost out of commission when I got them. Um, and then 2017, I told my dad, I said, "Man, I got to get some boots," and he said, "Here, take mine." Okay,
I bet that was special.
it was. And I've actually I used those boots up until about a month ago. Um, the backs of them started splitting, and I was like, I need to find some boots before these disintegrate because that's all I've got left of my dad.
Yeah.
Uh, so I actually went to High Spots and bought some boots. Um,
Okay.
and I've had those for about a month now.
So, do you have like multiple of the flannel shirts, or is it just the like? I know wrestlers. I've heard this so many different times that they always say they have like backup gear ready in case you. 'Cause I've heard so many stories of like wrestlers going to airports or traveling and they have their gear lost or taken by some crazy fans.
I actually do. Um, I actually do have two two different flannel shirts. Same color, same style. But I
Okay.
do have a backup shirt. Yes,
Okay. I know because, like I said, there's some crazy fans that try to get your gear just to say they have a keepsake, and it's or if like if you're a traveling wrestler and you go to an airport, airports have a bad habit of losing your stuff.
I've actually only been to one airport as far as traveling to a show, and um, I actually I didn't have that issue. I didn't actually have a checked bag, man. I had everything on a carry on,
Okay,
so everything stayed with me, and I didn't have an issue.
well you're smart, man. That's a smart way to go. Just have a carry on. So
Absolutely. Well, like
so with you being in the business, I know everyone has their own thing they do. Like, do you have a training regimen? Like, do you go to the gym like a certain time, like a certain amount of times before a show to just keep yourself in shape, or do you like go somewhere like just to hit the ring, just to keep yourself ready? And do you have like eating regimen to keep yourself in a good shape?
um, man, truthfully, no, I don't. I I don't go to a gym honestly. Probably should. I'm actually going to be looking into that here soon. Um, man, I've always been a big dude. Um, Probably not the best way to be in a ring. I have dropped over the last year a considerable amount of weight. I've probably since September, I've probably lost about almost 50 pounds.
That's
Um,
awesome.
so just man, just finding the right things to eat is the trick, man. Just finding the right things to eat, drink. You know, it's been a battle, but everybody has their own way of doing things.
All right. So, do you have a routine before a show? Like, before you go out to the ring, do you have like a routine, like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like, do you listen to a certain song or do something to get yourself in that mind space before you go through that curtain?
Oh man, no, no. When my music hits, man, I have a certain point where I go through the curtain. But just listening to the song, man, just getting in that mindset. I like to do a little bit of pacing back and forth. Just to kind of get my mind right before I hit the hit the curtain. But other than that, man, no.
Okay. What about like after a show? Like, I know after you leave a show, you're probably hungry or thirsty. And I know usually when you get done at a show, it's late at night and there's not a lot of open. What do you do for food after a show?
Man, this is gonna sound cliche, man, but Waffle House, dude. Waffle House is the go-to. Fridays, Saturdays, whatever the case may be, Waffle House is the go-to.
Go to. I can respect Waffle House. I would feel remiss if I didn't ask this. I would feel like a terrible host if I didn't. When you do go to Waffle House, what is your order when you go there? What do you get when you go?
Man, it's like I said, clean eating, man. Normally about three grilled chicken, a piece of cheese on them, and if depending on how hungry I am, I might get a couple eggs or order hash browns. But normally, man, I stick with just the chicken.
No waffle. You go to Waffle House and you don't get a waffle.
Ah,
Oh,
man, I used to work at Waffle House a few years ago, and dude, you get tired of it after a while. I'm not a big waffle person anyway, so
okay. So, what does success look like for the Backwoods Brawler Ray?
Oh man, success. Doing what I can to entertain the people. Um, you
Okay.
know, whether they're cheering me, whether they're booing me, as long as they're reacting, I'm doing my job.
Mm,
Um, if I can suspend their disbelief and you know suspend their emotions from the outside world for hour, 2 hours, whatever the case may be, I've done my job. You know,
yeah.
um, we're there to entertain them. So as long as they're entertained, I've done my job. Um, if I can go into a match and do it and come out, you know, still in one piece, that's a good night for me.
Oh, yeah.
Um, no,
So,
I don't
when you are
I do it
going,
for I don't do it for the money, man. I do it for them.
yeah. So, when you are going to shows, how early do you have to get there? Because I know, like, a lot of shows, you have to get the ring set up before the show and all that. Like, how early do you sometimes get to these shows?
Uh, Truthfully, that's a bad habit of mine. Um, some shows have a call time, and it's usually about an hour and a half before the show.
Hmm.
Um, some shows they're 2 hours before the show.
Yep.
But for the most part, man, if I don't know about a call time, I'm there anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour before bail. Probably
Okay.
not the best habit. Working on trying to break that, man. But again, 4 kids, and especially on Fridays, I work till 4:30, and the show's an hour away, so it does put a strain on time. But it's a habit I'm working on, man. But most shows do have a call time, and I try to respect that.
Yeah. And how late is it when you get out of some of these shows? I know some of these shows don't get over till 10 o'clock at night, and I know you said it's an hour, sometimes an hour drive back home. Like, you always make that hour drive after the show, like when it's like 10, 11 o'clock at night, or sometimes you just get a motel.
Um, well, there has been instances, very few instances where I will stop and get a hotel. Um, most of the time, uh, I drive it, man. Me and my brother and Austin Wright, we went and did a show in Springfield, Illinois.
Hmm.
Uh, During the snow, they had a lot of snow up there. Um,
Hmm.
they still did the show. Um, we went and did the show, and we drove back, man. We drove back all night. We didn't actually. I don't think we actually touched my driveway until probably 4 or 5 o'clock the next morning.
Oh wow, did y'all take turns driving, or just one person did all the driving?
Um, we took turns driving. You know, we Austin drove to his house,
Hmm.
and my brother drove to his house, which was probably about an hour away from Austin.
Yeah.
And then me and my wife took turns driving um, from Springfield to Austin's house and splitting with him and everything, and then from my brother's house to home, which he lives probably about 45 minutes from me. Me and my wife kind of split the driving there. Um,
Okay.
but man, yeah, we drove it all the way back, man. I don't mind the drives. Um, Most of the time, shows don't get. I don't leave a show any earlier than 11 o'clock. Um, so it is what it is, man. It's just part of the hall, part of the life, man.
Oh yeah. So I'm pretty sure you do, and if not, I'll be feel shocked if you didn't. Do you have a horror story from your time in the business, like having to have you had to deal with a promotion, or you don't have to name them, but I just a yes or no would be good enough to me. Have you had to deal with a promotion or promoter that's been like kind of shady?
Hmm. Oh no. Well,
No.
I take it back. Yeah, yeah. Not necessarily toward me.
Yeah.
Towards some guys that are close to me.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Um, yeah, it was a pretty bad experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't expect you to name names, or just a yes or no would have been fine enough for me. So, what kind of wrestler do you prefer working? Like when your opponent, like when you're facing someone, who do you like prefer working? Someone who's a technical wrestler, another brawler, or someone that likes to take some high risk, like go off the top rope quite a bit, or like do a lot of dives to the outside?
Mm, yeah, I don't have a preference, man. They, you're gonna see all kind of wrestlers in this business, man, and you're gonna be in there with all of them. I prefer, um, you know, I don't really have a preference, honestly. Whatever's
Okay.
there, I'll make it work however I need to. Um, I'll
Okay.
adapt. You know, uh, yeah. You know, if you want to
Yeah.
fly, a high fly, we can high fly. If you want to
Oh
brawl, we
yeah.
can brawl. I don't care.
Okay. So, if you could tell young wrestlers one thing about surviving this life, would it be advice from Ray or a lesson from the brawler? And when you look back at the fights that shaped you, which part of you remembers them most? The man who lived them or the brawler who made them legendary?
Mm, man, for the younger guys that want to get into the business, first and foremost, mouth shut, ears open. Um, don't don't go in thinking you know it all, because
Mhm.
you, I promise you, you don't know half of it. Um,
Yeah.
you're always gonna learn something. You're always gonna find different ways to do the same thing.
Mhm.
Um, you know, just get in a locker room, sit down, shut up, and do what's asked of you. Um, it's truly the best way to do it. And man, take the time with the training. Don't train for 2 or 3 months and think you're ready. Take the
Yeah.
time. Take that training time. Um, Injuries happen. They're
Mhm.
gonna. Um, it's just part of it.
Yeah.
Uh, and this ain't ballet, man. Everything hurts. Um,
Mm.
there's a lot of different things that are said about wrestling. Oh, wrestling's fake. Yada yada yada.
Mhm.
I hate the word fake.
Yep.
Okay.
I do.
Um, Nothing we do is fake.
No.
Teaching yourself to fall down sucks
Mhm.
because it's just not normal. Your body
No.
just naturally want to fall down.
No.
Uh, and you're not falling down on a mattress. You're not falling down on a pillow. There's
Yeah.
sometimes 3-inch thick plywood under there. Um,
Mm.
everything hurts. There's metal bars that hold the plywood on there.
Yep.
The ring is metal. Like everything we do hurts. The ropes, they're not strings. You know, those ropes are tight and they're sometimes metal. Sometimes they hurt. They're steel cables. That padding on the turnbuckles, man, that padding's only so thick and it's behind a
Mhm.
metal ring. So
Yeah.
um, I hate the word fake. It's
Yeah.
not fake. And if you think it's fake, give me 5 minutes, I'll show you why it's not.
Yeah. Let, yeah. Let me hit you with a steel chair or something over the back, and tell me how fake it is. Then.
Absolutely. Man, it's the most realest thing you could do.
Mhm.
Uh, outside of say being in a street fighting some guy off the street. You know, it's the realest thing you could do.
Oh, it is. So you were talking about injuries. Has there ever been a moment, like a close call moment for you personally, when you're in a match that you felt like, or after a match, you felt like you might have hurt something, you might have broke something?
Um, so I can think of two instances off the top, um,
Hmm.
where one was a close call and one was actually an injury. Um, I back a few years ago, I was working Uncle Biff. I don't know if you know him. Uh,
No, off the top of my head, I don't.
I went for a spear and he scooped me up into a Michinoku driver.
Oh,
Um,
God.
and something happened, and when I come down,
Hmm.
my my entire left side went numb. Um,
Okay.
I couldn't move for a minute. I thought I was paralyzed. My neck still isn't right since.
Yeah.
I have limited motion to the right side. Um, doesn't really give me any issues, just limited motion.
Yeah.
Um, and then the injury actually happened back in 21, 22, maybe.
Okay. So
Uh,
recent.
yes. Again, working Uncle Biff and Larry Cooter.
I
Um,
know Hooter. Yep. I know who Hooter is.
I took a 3D from them. Um, and when I come down, my leg was not in the right position and I tore my MCL. Um, I actually was told don't get in the ring for 8 weeks. I'm hard headed. I love the business. I was in the ring in two. Um, yeah, and because of that, I now wear a brace every time I'm in the ring.
Do you wear it under your like? Do you wear it under your like your pants that you wear? Or do you wear it over it?
I wear a brace and then I put a knee pad over it and put
Okay.
my gear. So it's always covered with a knee pad. So
Okay. Man, I couldn't imagine. So do you do you watch a lot of like tape on rest? Like, do you watch a lot of matches? Uh,
sorry about that. What was that? Sorry.
I said, do you watch like a certain style of wrestling like on so like there's so many clips of wrestling now. Like, do you watch like more strong style or do you watch more like brawling stuff and like you try to take from what you see and try to do it yourself?
Man, I watch a little bit of all of it. I don't prefer any of it over the next.
Yeah.
You know, whatever, whatever's on is what I watch. I don't really go looking for, specific things. I do like a lot of the old school work though.
Yeah. I can respect the old school, some of the best stuff I will say.
Yes, sir.
Like I just caught myself watching it's not old to you, but it's old to me. It was the build up to Rock and Austin's final match and just seeing the video package they put together. It's like it was two people that helped build a generation of fans and wrestlers.
Right. Um, Man, that was a really good build up. Um, Overall, it was a good match. Sucks that it was Austin's last match, per
Yeah.
se, up to Kevin Owens, but Austin went out on his own, so you know.
W- When you are getting ready to hang it up, like when you're getting ready to hang up your boots, like take them off and just be done. Like what do you want that to look like? Your last match.
Mm, I haven't thought about that, truthfully. Um, I'm a lot closer to the end than I am the beginning. Um,
Uh-huh.
they say everybody's got a bump card. Well,
Yeah.
my bump card's about bumped out. I don't know what that looks like for me. Um, I don't know when that's gonna happen. Hopefully, you know, hopefully at least I'll let my two sons get in. Um, Again, my oldest still has 7 years. Well, yeah, 6 years, 7 years, and then my 3-year-old, he's got about 15. So does my body hold up and stand the test of time for that long? Hopefully that'll put me at 45, 46. Hopefully. I don't know. My dad wrestled when he retired, he was almost 50, so he might have
Yeah.
been 50. I'm not too sure. Uh,
Yeah, 'cause like you said, your bump cart only has so many bumps in it for you to take before your body says, "Nope, we're not doing this no more."
yeah. Um, like I said, when that time comes, man, we'll think about it. Right now, I don't think about it. Right now, I look forward to what's next. What does this week look like? What does this show
Yeah.
look like? One day at a time, man.
So, do you have any promotions that you want to work for here in Tennessee, whether it be in Middle Tennessee, East Tennessee, West Tennessee?
Um, there's a few. Um, there's a couple. USWO for sure.
Hmm.
Which again, I get that opportunity March 14th. As long as nothing changes, nothing happens. Um, CCW possibly. Um, LWA at one point. We'll see what happens there. Been in contact. Um, haven't had any luck. Uh, but we'll see. Um,
Okay. I know there's one promotion I think you probably fit right in at, and that's in one of the greatest wrestling cities in the country, in my opinion, because I grew up there. It's Memphis.
yeah. Yeah. I haven't figured out who to contact for that one yet. We'll work on that and see what we get done.
Because Memphis wrestling, like it, it has shaped so many eras of wrestling, whether it be like The Rock passed through there, Jerry Lawler, of course, his son Brian Christopher, and like I said, it's just one in my opinion, and I'm biased because I'm from there and I got to grow up seeing a lot of it. Memphis will always be one of the best wrestling towns in the country.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of great talent in Memphis. A lot of that transition to Nashville in the early days.
Hmm.
Man, it was both great cities for wrestling. A lot of, like you said, a lot of great talent through there. Um, so
Oh
maybe
yeah.
one day. Yeah.
Are there any people you want to work before your bump card is filled up? I know you get to work LT on the 14th, but is there anyone else?
Oh man. Man, there's plenty that I'd like to work. Again, LT Falk's one of them, and I've been in the ring with Ricky Morton. Um,
Mhm.
I've been in the ring with Chase Stevens. Way in early into my career. Um, I would like to do that again. Um, just because I wasn't satisfied with the match.
Yeah.
My performance per se.
Hmm.
Uh, I feel like I've got more to give, more to do, um, more to show now than I did.
Yeah.
Um, so
Just
he's definitely on the list.
oh yeah, most definitely. I know. I think you'd be pretty good if you went up against the headliner, Chris Michaels.
He's another one. I've watched him again growing up around this part. He was integral in my growing up watching indie wrestling. Um, my dad actually got to work him numerous times. He is one also that I don't believe I've ever shared a locker room with. Um,
Wow.
so he's another one that I would like to get in the ring with. The freak Anthony Ingram is another one. So
Hmm.
um,
Uh,
yeah.
what about old Double J?
Ah, if the opportunity presented itself, yes, I would most definitely do it.
Even if it ended with you taking a guitar shot by old Double J himself.
Oh yeah, that would some people want that, man. Some people. That that's what they want to do. Um,
Mm,
that's an iconic thing for him.
mm.
Um, and to be able to say, hey, I've took the guitar from Jarrett. Hey,
Again, and the Jarretts are another family that helped build wrestling in Tennessee.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Um, my there was that the show here in Lewisburg that I mentioned, ASW. They actually did a little bit of work with Jerry Jarrett before he passed away.
Okay.
Um,
I
yeah,
never once. I I've been to so many promotions. Like just as a fan, I've been to so many shows, and for some reason, I can never see Jerry at a show. Like I never got to be at a show he was at. At least I didn't. At least if he was there, I didn't see him there. I've seen Jeff at more shows than I did Jerry.
wow. Hey, actually, now that I think about it, now that we're talking about it, I actually do have a story,
Okay.
a road story.
Okay.
Back when ASW was running, um, they did one of their big shows, ASW Summer Heat.
Yep.
Uh, they had they had the Boogeyman on it,
I'm coming to get ya.
and actually, my oldest son got a picture with him in the locker room,
Okay.
um, and I actually I got to take Boogeyman to his hotel room into the airport. Uh, his ride had ditched him
Oh
um,
no.
at the show, and they needed somebody to get him back to his hotel and everything. And I said, hey, I'll take you. No big deal. I'll take you. And dude, that was a cool ride, man. He stays true to his character. He really does. He doesn't ever let you see his face. He stays true to his character.
So he stays in the face paint.
No, um, he doesn't. If he has to go out into public after a show, he will wear a see-through hood.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very cool experience, but at the same time, one of those experiences of, you know, this is different.
Oh, I grew up being in fear of the boogeyman. I grew up in fear of him. I remember. Oh, now you got me. Now you have me digging a story out of my chest of stories. I remember I was a kid. I was watching wrestling with my dad one night. Boogeyman was on TV, and I was in fear. Like I feared him with everything in my body. And later that night, when I was in bed, my dad comes in there. I'm almost sound asleep. He comes in there playing the Boogeyman song theme song, and he just chases me out of the house playing it. Like I'm in a pair of pajama pants and just a t-shirt. I'm a kid, barefoot, just running outside at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. So
Yeah,
I grew up in fear of him, but now like it's one of my things. I want to meet him now
yeah, right,
because I want to see the man like because nowadays like seeing him scare kids now like now you get to see my fear. You get to see what I had to deal with.
right.
No. So, is there anything before we close out? Is there anything you want to leave our listeners with?
Um, man, buy a ticket, go to a show. Um, you know, you WWE and AEW and places like that, man, they charge hundreds to thousands of dollars for shows, man, and a lot of times those seats are way up in the stadium. Horrible seating.
Those,
Uh, but man, everybody there at some point went through the indie scene. Um,
yep.
so find a show locally. Within reasonable driving distance. Find a show. Buy that ticket. Spend that 10, 15, $20. Buy the ticket, man. Go enjoy it. Have fun. because you never know. You might go to a show one day and see somebody and flip the TV on, and hey, there they are.
Yep.
Then you say, hey, I knew them before they were there.
Yep.
But man, wrestling's for everybody.
It,
It's not for everybody to get into. I'll say that it's not for everybody to get into, but
no.
wrestling has something for everybody.
Hmm.
To hear, whatever. So just buy the ticket, have fun.
Well, I want to thank you, Ray, for taking the time to sit down with me today. I've enjoyed hearing some stories and getting to hear about your legacy and your family's history in the business and just your story. I did not know how far back your story went, and I loved hearing it. I thank you for taking the time to tell it to me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. Again, tell Jason, thank you for having me on. Man, like I said, come to a show, check it out.
I
March
definitely
7th,
will.
March 7th, Top Rope Tennessee, or Top Rope Wrestling, Lebanon, Tennessee. Uh, March 14th, I'll be at USWO in Columbia, Tennessee. Bell time 7 o'clock. Just come check it out.
I
Stay.
definitely will.
Yes, sir.
And I want to, ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever watched an episode of this podcast, you know how this is going to go in the ending. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been your host, as always, the media maverick Mike Weldon. This has been From Indy to Immortal, and this has been my amazing guest, the BackWoods Brawler Ray. So, and this is the end, and make sure y'all catch us on the flip side.